Hello, everybody. Hoppy's getting in his seat. Welcome to Off the Cup with Hoppy and Hobbs. The music's still playing. We love it.
Nice.
We're coming at you live from Studio 22 at the Real 22 Studios. And you know what else?
What?
Studio 12 is almost complete. So if you hear some construction sounds going over here, Studio 12 is almost ready to go.
That's amazing.
That guy over there is?
I'm Hoppy.
This guy over here is Hobbs. And you can find us everywhere podcasts are free.
Everywhere.
We are not charging on Spotify or Apple for our podcast, so you can get it for free.
See, we do that
Wait a minute.
What?
I think you need a subscription for Spotify.
Do you?
But we don't get paid, so it's still free.
We donate.
We've got an action-packed podcast for you this week.
It might be incredible.
It might be. We've got some COVID Padre streaking. We've got some no-hitters going on.
A couple of them, yeah.
We got people swinging on 3-0. We'll talk a little bit about unwritten rules. We're going to go through some of the craziest MLB standings I've ever seen at this time of this season. There's a whole league, conference, group, whatever you want to call them, that has three of the best 4 records in Major League Baseball. So we're going to talk about that. But first,
starting off.
Hoppy has something nice to
Yeah,
say.
I'll tell you what. When you do something, you're building a project, and you don't know how it's going to work out, and then the final product comes out, and you're like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Is that what happened this morning when you were picking clothes, or
No. Even though I do enjoy my armed services hat.
It is pretty awesome.
It is sick. I love it. But when I say projects, as a player, you train, ungodly amounts to get, 3 at-bats, 4 at-bats a game.
Trace.
And when all your hard work finally starts to pay off, and then you start to believe in yourself and your game takes off, I mean, that reward as a player is, you can't put a price tag on it. Well, I've been doing lessons forever.
What?
Yeah, that's my 5th job that I do, and
I had no idea.
I've got a player that has just worked her tail off and really dedicated herself, and she has just elevated, not only just here in San Diego but nationally. This girl is going to be special, like not only for her high school, but moving forward into college. One, she's got the grades for it, which is, first and foremost as a student athlete. But my shout out is to Sophia Mojica.
What?
From Granite Hills High School here in East County. And as a freshman.
This is big news, people.
She just broke the...
Oh, I thought she tied.
No, she broke it yesterday.
Oh, she broke it yesterday.
Yeah, she tied it 2 days ago, and that was like big news that she tied the all-time record for home runs in a season. And then she just goes out the next day and says, screw it, I'm going to break the record.
I don't have a record broken noise. I didn't know you didn't share this with me.
I know. She went and broke it yesterday and hit her 14th home run, which is a East County and Grossmont Conference record. So congratulations to Sophia Mojica from Granite Hills High School, setting the record, and she's still got more games left. So hopefully, what's she gonna do for the next 3 years? Break the county record.
Go to college.
Break the county record. Break the state record. And the thing is it's not even like I'm trying to go out and hit home runs. She just, when she makes contact, the ball goes. She's strong. She's athletic, and she's a gamer. Not only that, she's a catcher. So she's got to deal with all that other stuff, but she is definitely a talent that I'm very, very proud of, and continued success, and put the record out of touch.
Shout out.
So
shout out.
There you go. Record's breaking. It's awesome.
Congratulations.
Everybody
go catch a game.
Yes.
Go catch a game. All right. So congrats.
Mm-hmm.
As we move into the off the cup question.
Uh-oh.
We had a thrilling debate this week on whether or not there would be 10 or more no-hitters. So the over-under on no-hitters this season was 10. A bunch of people weighed in through social media. And what were the social media results there, Mr. Hopgood?
Well, the backstory is the most no-hitters in one season is 7.
Oh, wow. Good luck with that.
7. You've got 6, and then if you want to throw in Bumgarner's 7-inning no-hitter, you'd have 7. So you would have tied the whole year record in the first 2 months of the season.
45 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So the consensus is over.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't know how you can go another 100 and something games and not have 4 no-hitters.
Yeah, I think really the only way that you don't is if tomorrow they switch to last year's baseball, because I think you're learning there's 2 things going on here. One, the last year was a 60-game season, so essentially people didn't play a whole year, right? So you had basically a whole year off. And secondly, they messed with the game by changing the ball, and now you're learning what one small little piece can do to change the game.
Right.
And so when you think about them messing with the pitching distance in the minor leagues this year, and you think about all those little things, those are kind of big things, you know, a bigger base, moving the mound. All they did was loosen the ball.
Well, there's more seams. The seam is higher.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had a Major League Baseball in your hand compared to like a high school ball, the high school ball has higher seams.
Absolutely.
And the Major League ball had lower seams.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit higher, and it's a tad bit lighter this year.
Yeah, it's not as tight.
So that's huge. That's huge.
So now the ball moves more. So that the higher seams move with a little bit lighter, allows for more rotation and more wind resistance, which makes the ball move farther.
Makes it move.
Watching Baez last night throw a fastball that was moving like 18 inches, that's why you have no hitters, people.
Yeah. Everyone talks about, well, the swings, and they're all trying to hit jacks. When every guy is throwing 97 to 100 miles an hour and can throw a breaking ball for a strike, and even just show a third pitch, hitting is hard. It's hard.
Yeah, so the ball moves just a little bit more and maybe a little bit faster. That throws off solid contact.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't take much to turn what would have been solid contact into a weak ground ball.
Oh, yeah. And, you've got really anywhere from 0.3 to 0.4 seconds from when that pitcher lets go of the ball to the catcher's glove is 0.3 to 0.4 seconds. And now you're going to add more movement to it?
And then,
that's hard.
Yeah, and then you add some of the hitter's selfishness of not wanting to beat the shift. And now all of a sudden,
you have the lowest batting average for the league in history. Like 236.
Right, and it's not the shift per se that's causing it, because if you look at the field, there's plenty of space to get a base hit.
Yeah, there's a lot of room.
Yeah, and especially since they're still pitching you outside.
Yeah, and the other part is because the game has gotten so analytical, they do these reports, and they give these reports to the players, and they go, these are the pitches you hit well. These are the pitches that you struggle with. Only look for the pitches that you hit well. Well, guess what? Pitchers have the same chart.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, he hits this pitch well. I'm going to throw it where he doesn't hit it well. And, so people that are watching the game go, how can he take that pitch? It was right down the middle, or that was right there. Guess what? He wasn't looking for that pitch. So he's going to take it. And he's hoping the pitcher makes a mistake. And if he does, well, guess what? You hit home runs. When they don't make a mistake, you strike out.
Yeah, and you have to remember that the best pitchers still make lots of mistakes. But when your mistake has a little bit faster and a little bit more movement on it, they don't hit it as hard.
Right.
And I think also you have to consider that we're seeing a little bit better defense, which I'm not sure why. It's like everybody went out and they just took ground balls for the last 2 years. We've seen some pretty amazing defense on the infield.
Yeah. And that, that's what led to this whole shift. I think Charlie Blackmon was one of the better stories about changing his approach because he was a speed guy, hit the ball on the ground, run fast, probably his whole life. And then he gets in the big leagues. He's hitting 260 in the biggest ballpark in the league in Colorado, and he's hitting ground balls. And he goes, look, he goes, infielders in the big leagues are good.
Yeah, they're going to make every play.
They're good. So why do I hit it to him? Well, let me try to hit it into one of these huge gaps that I play in 81 times a year. And all of a sudden he's hitting 330 and making the All-Star team. Oh, and then a couple balls start leaving the yard because, well, he's in Colorado. So he changed his approach. And, you know, for pitching, I really think you're going to start seeing a return to trying to hit the ball on the ground.
Well, if home runs are down,
yeah,
right, you can't try to hit home runs anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if I crush a ball and it doesn't leave the yard, okay, I got to figure something else out. I got to get on base.
Because eventually you won't get that contract again, right?
Right.
So there's two things players play for. They play for money, they play for championships, right? They want to win and they want to get paid. Well, if you're a power hitter and you can't hit the ball over the fence anymore, you got to figure out a different way to get paid. So you got to you're going to have to change it up. So you can't go from a 35 home run guy to a 12 home run guy and bat 220 and expect to get the contract the next year. So you're going to see the change eventually.
Yeah,
because it's going to be forced.
It just so happened I turned on the TV and Moneyball was on.
Yeah,
and they're trying to replace Giambi, and they go through all these stats. And then they throw a name up there. And he goes, why do you want him? He gets on base. You know, and then he gets on base. He goes, guys, if I have to keep saying this, he gets on base. Doesn't matter how. And if that mentality, and I'm not a big like Moneyball guy, like, you know, but there is a way to win a game without having to rely on a home run.
Yeah, if you make the other team throw more pitches and you get your batters to bat more times, then you have a better chance to win. So if you take more walks, your leadoff batter gets to bat one extra time. If you take more walks, your number 2 hitter gets to bat one more time. If you take more walks, your 3 hitter gets to bat more times. Which guys are your best hitters in the lineup?
Yeah.
And the more times you get those guys to bat, the more chances you have to win. And especially if there's runners on base when they bat, you have a better chance of something positive happening. So the more base runners you have, the more chances you have for them to not have their best pitcher in the game.
Right.
And for you to have opportunities to score runs, because when it comes down to it, the team with more runs wins.
Really? That's amazing.
So if I get 6 walks and score 2 runs without a hit, and you hit 1 home run, I win.
Yeah. Well, and then the other part is, and you know, in professional baseball, you're not going to win every game.
No.
So when you come into your schedule, your mindset is win the series.
Right.
So if I've got 3 games, we want to win 2 out of 3. If we have 4 games, we want to win 3 out of 4. You know, the Padres aren't trying to win every game. They're not. Well, they're trying to win the series.
They're not trying to lose either.
Right.
But the worst teams ever still win 60 games out of 162.
Yeah, and that's my point is, as a realist, you're not going to win every game.
No.
And that's why you go, well, how come he's not playing today? Well, because they've won the first 3 games of a 4-game series. So they've already won the series. I need to get guys in so that my guys are still fresh for 162.
Yeah, and you can relate that back to the Padres with this whole 7 players on COVID, and then you bring in the other guys, and they're ready to play.
Yeah,
and
unbelievable.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah, you know, so getting to that point with the depth of what the Padres have right now. In that, I guess we were calling it the COVID series. There was like
against Colorado.
Yeah, so you had Tatis, Myers, who's still out, Hosmer, Mateo, Profar, and they were 5-1.
Yeah, they lost 1 game. They've essentially they're 10-1 in their last 11, and they've only lost 1 game since the COVID thing.
That's crazy. And what I really liked is that it almost seemed like 1987 again. who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Right, and that's the culture of the team, right? It doesn't when you're playing a certain way and everybody buys into it, it doesn't matter who the guys on the field are. So anybody can step up at any time. Like O'Grady stepped up, Kiblahan stepped up, all this Kim stepping up and playing solid defense and getting his 1 for 4 every day.
Unreal defense.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's not that you have to have the 25 best players. It's how you play together as a team and what your role is, and you do what you need to do for that day.
Right.
And so when you take your walks and you're unselfish, when you get your bunt down, in a squeeze situation, when you do those little things, because you're like, okay, I know we're probably not going to win 10-1 today, but then all of a sudden everybody does the little things and you win 10-1.
Right. That's what I loved about it. The second baseman, I'm going to mispronounce his name, so I won't even say it. But the guy on second base, he's not up there trying to hit it. He hits a ground ball to the right side, moves a runner over, next guy sac fly, run scores. O'Grady, I think it was bases loaded, sac fly. Doing the little things, those guys aren't expected. That's not their job. Their job is to set the table and move guys around, and they did it.
Yeah, so when this all came down, it's like, oh, we're playing the Rockies. Okay, the Rockies, they don't win on the road. They were like 2-12 on the road coming into the game against the series against the Padres, and they've been playing poorly. It started at home against the Rockies. I think they took 2 or 3, but then they had to go play the Cardinals, one of the best teams in the league, and with missing essentially 4 starters and they're some other guys that really contribute, and they swept them. Number one, like you wouldn't even expect to sweep the Cardinals with your whole team intact, right? So they sweep the Cardinals, 5-4, 5-3, great bullpens, good pitching, but they had a 13-3 game against the Cardinals,
right? Against
Adam Wainwright,
they're veteran, correctly. And I watched the game on ESPN, and I thought the Cardinals were winning.
I heard about the announcers. I didn't get to catch
the announcing, and I know you're trying to keep the Midwest involved, but it was literally 10-2, and we're talking about how great the Cardinals are
and how underrated the Padres Stadium is.
Yeah, and I'm like, I had to look at the score again. I go, wait, the Padres are winning. They're making it sound like this is a total, this is a Cardinals win. It was,
yeah, and the Cardinals lost to them in the playoffs last year. So,
it's like
you should be on the other side promoting the other team. But there's also, it's a national broadcast,
right?
And you have to hype up both teams, and so when you're a fan of a team, you have a tendency to focus on the other side.
That's all I heard, though. That's all I heard was how great Molina, and Molina's great. He's a Hall of Famer. I would take him on my team in a heartbeat. But the Padres are up 10.
And he's like 90.
And it's like, oh, come on. A little love, Yeah,
and the Padres pulled out that sweep, and then the Rockies came into town, who don't ever win on the road. And you started off with a 7-0.
Yeah.
And 3 straight pitchers with like 10+ Ks, 6-7 innings. Only 1 earned run. So the last 4 games, the Padres starting pitchers had the minimum of gone 6 innings. The most runs allowed is 1, and the lowest, the only person that's had under 10 strikeouts was Paddock, who had 6 last night, and that was a 16-1 game last night.
Right. Now the pitching has been really good. The hitting, I mean, it's just next thing you know, they got 4 runs.
Well, yeah, as soon as the Prone Dog goes into the 3 spot and Tatis is batting behind him, he's a 330 hitter, right?
And that's what I love about it. You took Machado out of the lineup and scored 16 runs.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So I got a hot take.
Uh-oh.
Hot take.
Hot take.
It's more of like a cup chick. All right.
Nice hand movements, by the way.
Cup check.
Cup check. Okay.
Here's how I would play the rest of the season if I was the Padres.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You tell me this if this works.
Okay.
Tatis plays 3 weeks. and then you give him a week off. And then you play him 3 weeks, and you give him a week off. He'll never be tired. Because it's seeming to work this year.
Every time he comes off the IL,
he's on fire.
He is smoldering hot. First made back, he went 4 for 4.
Yeah, remember last season, right? He tried to play the whole 60 games, and he was exhausted.
Yes.
And he'll never go into a slump if he takes a week off.
Well, if you've got depth,
and I mean like a vacation. Like,
see you next week.
See you next week. Don't come to the stadium.
That's
Pretend
funny.
you're in like COVID protocol. Come on back when you're good. And
you know, whatever. I don't know what kind of workouts he's doing, but when he comes back, he is legit. Legit.
Yeah. So I think them.
But I'm going to say no on that because I want Tatis in there. Okay.
Come on.
As much as it's a great concept. Yeah.
Give the kid a vacation once a month.
Well, you can say, yeah, you know, he rolled his ankle doing the splits at second base. We're going to give him a few days off.
Can you just do a proper slide?
Right.
And that won't happen.
But it was hilarious because he's like, you see it and you're like, whoa, that does not look. Ouch! How's he doing that?
It's like just slide properly.
You hit the bag and slide up. Nope, I'm gonna go past it, hook my heel, and do the splits. It's like a league of their own.
Dottie behind home plate
Yeah.
catching the fly ball.
Yeah, we got Tatis doing the splits at second.
Wow.
You know that's going to be a poster. It has to be.
Yeah, so definitely. So while we're still on the Padres, one other thing here that I saw on the Padres. Let's see if I can find it on my phone here.
Okay,
Dragon. Sorry, hold
it's
on.
all right.
It's a early.
We're on your schedule.
That's true. I do run the podcast.
Yes, you do.
I am the host. I am the host.
I'm just your co-host.
I'm the host. Holy smokes! So. The Padres pitching. The Padres have played 45 games.
Mm-hmm.
They've given up 139 runs.
That's good.
That's really good. They're plus 66 in run differential because they've only scored 205.
It's really good.
Okay, so with that 139 runs against, if you had to guess which team was closest to them in the runs against, who would you guess?
Dodgers.
No.
Giants.
No. Giants are close though. They're the third farthest away. The Mets, but they've played less games.
The Mets are interesting.
They have the Mets have given up 143, but they've only scored 136.
That's what I'm saying.
They're -7 run differential in first place by 2.5 games because the Phillies are 22-23, while the Mets are 21-17. Now,
I want the Phillies to do well. I've got some buddies that are big Phillies fans, and it's like they really have a good ball club.
Well, the Philly Fanatic is always representing on the podcast, and there's some weird red thing over there behind you.
Kind of a jersey. It's okay. But
and I'm not one of those guys he's talking about.
No. And it's you look at their lineup, the Phillies, loaded.
Yeah, but Real Muto is on the DL.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little. I know we were going to talk about the standings a little bit later, but since we're here,
yeah,
the Giants are 28-17.
Mm-hmm.
The Padres are 28-17,
mm-hmm.
and the Dodgers are 27-18.
Mm-hmm.
One game separates the top three teams with the top three records in the National League. So the Mets would be 4 games back. The Cardinals would be 2 games back, 2.5 of first place if they were in the West.
Right.
And the Padres have played pretty much the most difficult schedule so far, and they're still hanging in there. So what's the deal? What's going to happen here? Because these teams have to play each other, will the wild card end up coming out of the West?
Oh, I definitely think so.
Or will they get both of them?
And
because
that's
they
where
are beating up on everybody else in the league except the Brewers.
See, this is where I like the idea of the expanded playoffs because I mean, okay, you're gonna have 5 or 6. When you had 8 teams, or was it 10? I think it was 10 last year. You know, almost half your league is in the playoffs. There's excitement there. You know, and you give yourself a chance to go ahead and work on some things. As good as the National League West is right now, if you're not winning your division, you're done.
Right. So if the playoffs ended today, you would have the Mets and the Cardinals and either the Giants or Padres, depending upon how the tiebreaker wakes up. And then let's say one of those three teams, two of those three teams in the West are playing each other and kicking the other one out.
Right.
And so the three best teams don't really make the playoffs. They don't get a chance to win the World Series.
Right.
One of them plays a 1-game series to kick the other one out, or something. You know, one or three, and then the teams that aren't as good, in air quotes, get a chance to win the World Series when one of those teams is eliminated right off the bat.
I don't know what the hesitation is to not expand the playoffs. I mean, I don't care.
I know what it is. It's bargaining. So the players, you know, I'm sure everybody's for it because they all make more money, but they want things like universal DH. So it's like, okay, we'll be happy to expand the playoffs so Major League Baseball can give us more money if you give me something. So they're not going to give it away for free, even though everybody wants it. So that's the hard part about collective bargaining. Everybody wants it. But
who's gonna give me more money, and how am I gonna get away with it cheapest?
Right.
I don't know if the game.
I think right now, I mean, this is going to be something that I've never said before, but I'm not even sure right now that we need a 162 game season. We should probably lop 20 games off the season and put more teams in the playoffs and play 7-game playoff series. Like that would be more exciting.
Yeah, you could go back to the 144 games and then the expanded playoffs. I mean, I'd be all for that as long as you're replacing the regular season
and
with
putting
playoffs.
more teams in the playoffs.
Because that excitement level, I mean, Chicago, right? Chicago is going to be towards the top. I'm telling you, the playoffs are better when the Cubs are in it.
Yeah,
right? Or the Red Sox, Yankees, and you know, whoever else is doing well, Toronto. You tell me you wouldn't like to see Toronto in a playoff series, you know, with all those young studs?
Or instead of the All-Star game, do a mid-season 3-level tournament to determine, like, you know, you take the top 12 teams and you play them in a tournament in the middle and the bottom, and you play, like, you know, a big tournament based on your record in the middle of the season, and you get like 3 champions, you know, just to create some excitement in the middle of the season, you know, just some new things. Like you're not really changing the game, but you're giving the fans something to get excited about, and then that would give the teams that are struggling a little bit a chance to win something and have their fans be excited.
Right.
Unless you're the Tigers and you finish last, and then everybody hates you.
Well, I don't know what it was like when you were playing with Philadelphia, but in the league I was in, you had a first half and a second half champion.
Yeah.
And what that did is reset the season halfway through, saying, okay, you've been, you know, 18 games out of first place. We're starting over, and you have your first half champions. They're already in the playoffs. So that gave that team a chance to say, hey, okay, I can play some of these other guys, or I'm just going to dominate and make sure that this team doesn't get in, you know, because we're going to win the league again. So, I mean, there's ways to do it with, you know, hopefully keeping some of the traditions. But I like, you know, if you're going to, I wouldn't mind going to 144. I wouldn't mind expanding the playoffs. Universal DH is coming in next year.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the plan was. But you want to see the playoffs. As any other sport, excuse me, has expanded playoffs so that their fans can stay connected. And especially in today's game where we want to get our fans excited. Like, I don't even pay attention to other sports until the playoffs start.
I mean, what about a bottom half tournament at the end of the season too?
Just like a fight to the death.
Yeah. What if you take you take the teams that are normally in the playoffs, and then you take the next 4 or 8 teams and you have them play one-offs to get into the playoffs to play in a wild card round against a wild card team. So like some teams that are maybe struggled through the first half of the season and maybe finished around 500, maybe a couple games under, they do a little tournament. They take the best of those 8 teams. One of them pops up and get into the wild card and have a chance to win the World Series because they came on strong at the end and they made the right deals at the deadline.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff you could do to get fans excited. And if the goal, I mean, it's a business, so you want to make more money. Those are the types of things you need to do to make more money.
Right. And then, the player's going to come back and go, hey, we're playing more games. Hey, and that's where you sit at the table and hash it out.
And the owners can be like, look, guys,
we're already paying you.
You guys make enough.
You guys are doing
We'll give
really
you a little.
well.
You get your prorated. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Nobody's going hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But so the NL West is kicking it. But what about the AL East? You got Boston at 28-18, Tampa Bay at 27-19, and the Yankees at 26-19, and Toronto at 23-20. You've got 4 teams over 500 in the AL East, all with a chance to win the division. And then Baltimore hanging out 10 games under 500.
Yeah, Baltimore. I got buddies in that organization, and it's, man.
Hey, in case you were wondering, Chris Davis went on the IL again.
Yeah.
The greatest contract ever for a player.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think that was like, here's the door.
Yeah, it wasn't a mistake to sign him. It was
at the time. No, it was great because you were trying to make a push, and then
it just didn't work. So how is Boston in first place, 10 games over 500?
Attitude. They get rid of, or they trade Betts. They trade Benintendi.
Like, is this all Renfroe?
I think it's the Hunter Renfroe experience that's really bringing it. But you got Cora, Alex Cora back at running the show. There's an attitude, and you still have really good players over there.
So you're saying it's because they're stealing signs?
No. No, I think it's because you got Devers, and you got Bogarts, and you got Evaldi and Vasquez. You got players. You got players that they get after it. It's a quiet group, and then you've got a gamers group, and they mix well. And you got Cora running the show and letting them play. You got a pitching staff that's revamped, and as soon as Chris Sale comes back, all of a sudden, if you're the Yankees, you're going, wait a minute. Evaldi, Sale, Eduardo Hernandez. I mean, you got arms.
So they've given up almost 60 more runs than the Padres have, and they're still plus 50 in differential. They've given up almost 200 runs. They've scored 243 runs.
They rake.
Yeah, for a team that wasn't supposed to do anything, they've scored the most runs in the game.
Well, and that's showing you the value of what a manager can do to a ball club is just flip the script. And Boston's pretty good at that. The importance of a manager.
Yeah, and they're doing it on the road. So their home record is just 1 game over 500, but they're 9 over on the road. So it's really been about the road.
Give it up to those road people that are stealing signs.
Eventually, you're going to start winning at home. And if you're winning on the road, if you have a plus 9 on the road for the whole season, you're in a good spot. Yeah. Like if they play 500 on the road for the rest of the year, they're still in a playoff position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, baseball in the North, especially Northeast, is hard in the beginning of the season because it's still kind of when it starts to warm up, well, then you're going to see your home numbers go up.
So congrats to Boston. So you got Boston, Chicago, and Chicago's in first place in the Central. And this is going to push me right into the next topic here.
Oh, the White Sox.
The White Sox. So Lance Lynn is like, man, I don't care if there's a position player on the mound. It's 3-0. You're a hitter. Hit it, right? The more I'm here, the more the unwritten rules go away. Tony La Russa says, he's on the bench. I'm in the office. What I say matters.
Yeah, he goes, he's got a locker. I got an office. He's basically saying, hey, Lance Lynn, veteran that you just brought over.
Shut up.
Veteran, you just go and play, and then I'll do the business side over here.
Right. But I think the reason, and I could be wrong, but I think the reason that La Russa is so all in on this is because they gave him a take sign.
Right. Yep.
Not because he hit a home run 3-0. It's because he was never supposed to swing in the first place because he missed a sign.
Missed a sign.
And this goes back to what we were talking about on the Tatis thing a couple of years ago. Nobody's mad that he hit a 3-0 grand slam.
Right.
If he missed a sign, then you got a problem. And so in this case where the guy hits the 45-mile-an-hour fastball for the 3-run homer up by 47 runs off the position player, it's not that he hit the home run, it's that he missed the sign.
He missed a sign. And that's and people go, okay, big deal. He missed a sign. If you're in a do or die game and a guy misses a sign and a dude gets thrown out and kills your rally, that dude's going to wear it because you got one job. You got to get your signs. You got to know your signs because eventually I'm going to give you a sign that I want you to do something. And if you miss it, you're going to leave somebody else out to dry. And something's going to happen that may cost us the ball game.
Well, it's just like any other job. If you're doing your job and there's something you're supposed to do, like let's say you're working at a gas station and it says no smoking, but you're going ahead and smoking that cigarette anyways. It's probably not a good thing.
No.
So when your coach gives you a sign, you don't get to pick and choose,
right?
Like which ones you're going to do and which ones you're not.
Yeah.
Like because you get paid to play for them, even though you're your own person. You kind of have to do what they say because they're your boss.
You can use any example, even with your kids at home. There's rules.
Yeah. And
if you don't follow them, there's consequences. Well, here's the consequence. I'm going to throw you under the bus in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's not. I think that's the thing, though. I don't really think it's about the 3-0 swing. I really think it's about the sign. And the people are trying to make it into something that it's not.
Right. Yeah, and
they're trying to make it like old guy versus young guy, but it's not.
Oh, he's lost touch with his ball club. He's in first place,
and he didn't. He wasn't supposed to swing. I mean, ask Kevin Mitchell about not supposed to swing. He won the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's La Russa's old school. There is no two ways about it. He is not going to change. And that's why he was brought in as the manager, was to manage the game.
Right.
And he attempted to manage the game, and the player didn't do it. So guess what? He got lit up.
There's repercussions.
Yeah.
And he said, we're going to handle it in-house.
In the media, he said, we're going to handle it in-house.
Right, but because he had to, because they wouldn't let it go.
Right.
And so they still won't let it go.
Yeah. Did you see his posture during that entire interview? And this would be great if you're watching the video. Just like, I'm not gonna, okay, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. He was hilarious. Mr. Russo, wake up. Yeah. Got it. So, but no, I mean, and that's the thing is, swinging 3-0. But here's what's you ever tried to just lob a strike at 45 miles an hour, 60 feet? You know how hard that is to throw a strike from that distance and that speed? So that's amazing. And then, do you know how strong you have to be?
That's what I want to know. How do you hit the ball that far?
Muy fuerte.
That's some Andre Johnson BP stuff right there.
Yes, it is. So both of those were amazing. The pitch and then the hit.
Yeah, I'm just blown away that he, like, batting practice is 45 feet, and it's kind of that speed. This is 60 feet. This is like...
If you want to know how hard it is, go to a field, right, and just lob a ball up and see if you can hit a ball 390 feet.
Just see if you can hit it out of the infield.
I mean, seriously. So both of them were amazing.
Like, you have to make a perfect swing to not hit a ground ball to short. You know what I mean? Like, that's just asking to, like, hit a hard ground ball somewhere.
Yeah, because you got to swing hard in that situation. To go for as far as he hit that ball, man.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Well, actually, it's 45 out of the hand, so it's probably about
36.
40. Yeah, when it gets to the home plate.
Dang, gravity, wind resistance. So this leads me into another question here for you.
Go for it.
All right. 3-2 count, 2 outs.
Yep.
Up by 11.
Okay.
Do you have your runner run? Happened last night.
I probably wouldn't. Or just really make sure he goes to the plate.
It's a jog situation.
Yeah.
It's like, don't run hard. Just
take
I'm
pretty
strong,
much a station to station anyway.
Take
so,
a
I mean, what's
good,
the
strong
point?
secondary, but you're not. So if you're watching these games now, they're not station to station when they're up by 10. Like people want to score the runs. They want the base hits. People are running the balls out hard. Like they want their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you owe it to the guy in the box if he hits the gap to score from first base?
Ooh. Well, I'm going to stop him anyway if it's that crazy.
Yeah, but according to your mean Mercedes, he's just going to go because he doesn't do the take.
Well, again, you can get rid of old school rules and unwritten rules as soon as everybody stops playing by them. You know, like you're going to face a LaRussa team. He's going to manage old school. He's going to throw at you. He's going to do whatever. That's why when he said, well, we'll see what happens, because basically he's like, I expect something to happen. I expect repercussions. And they did. They threw behind them the next game. No big deal. There you go. Dusty Baker with the Astros, old school. If you play the Astros, you better not do all that crazy stuff because Baker's going to give a sign. Baker's going to say, you need to take care of this, right? You face Bumgarner. Don't bat flip because guess what? He's going to get you the next time. So unless everybody stops playing by those rules, there's going to be unwritten rules. And there's going to be a repercussion.
Well, there's going to be people that are upset because they're losing, right? So,
or they're getting showed up.
Well, they think they are, but in reality, the team's just still playing the game. So that's the question: do you keep playing because that's the way you play when you win 1-0 or 27-0? Do you keep playing?
But that's my point. If I'm up 27-0, I play the game different. I manage the game different.
Well, you can. That's your prerogative.
No, that's what I will.
It's your prerogative. And there's other people that would say, if I change the way I play, the next game my team's going to start out the game playing the way that we finished the one.
No, because that's my job as a manager to make sure. Hey, let's go play our game.
And, but once you start,
I'll put the brakes on you
once you start playing lazy, it's hard to stop playing lazy.
Well, yeah, I get that. But that's why there's a manager and coaches to make sure that, hey, let's go. You know, that's the part of it. But again, I'm not gonna show up the other team. I'm gonna show respect to the game. And, so yeah, my game does change. If I'm up 27-0, I manage different. I coach different, I play different. I'm only gonna take a double instead of legging it out for a triple. I'm up 27-0.
Well, good thing you were a high school coach because the game would have been over after 4.
That's true. That's true. But
just kidding. Just kidding.
So, it's like I was at a game yesterday scouting. Final score was 20-0.
I want to be at that game.
No, you didn't.
I know.
It was like, okay, literally a hitter had his 4th at bat in the second inning. It was rough. And it's the second inning. And did
he bat left-handed?
No,
he should have.
But the head coach, guy on second base, it's all at this point. It was 16-0. Base hit to center field, stops the runner at third. The outcome of the game is pretty much solidified.
There's a difference between people being paid professionally to play a game and people playing in high school, right? You could.
No, I get it.
There's a wide range of ability in a high school game in any sport. Right. So you've got teams that have real coaches and players that have been playing their whole lives, and you have schools with volunteer teachers and kids that are like, hey, it would be fun to go play this sport.
Yes, I agree.
So there's a difference there.
But I applaud the head coach of the team that was winning.
Right, because the guy's probably going to score on a wild pitch on the next pitch anyways, or go to the next base. And then you get into, okay, should we be – does it show the other team up more when we don't take the base on the wild pitch, or that we do, and we score that run, or which shows the team up more, scoring the run and taking the extra base, or standing there while they're playing so poorly.
Right, and even then, there's levels of that. I mean, it's like, hey, score on a wild pitch, right? Okay. Then there's, I don't want you to score on a wild pitch, and then there's only if it totally kicks to the left, like
goes
80
in the dugout,
feet,
and goes in the dugout.
then you can go. And I've been in those games where you just go, hey, I mean, it literally has to leave the yard for you to go, right?
It's like they threw the ball down the first base line. We can't stand on first. Just jog really slowly to second base.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
but don't go to third.
But
just stop.
Yeah, but those again, that's part of the unwritten rules. That's why you throw all that out. The game is going to completely change.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think it's a lot different when you're a professional and you're getting paid to crush the other team,
right?
And when you're, a learning player.
Right. But even the next step into college,
the college is just a little bit higher than high school when it comes to the haves and have-nots. At the top level, everybody has the ability to be a have, and they're making a choice not to be.
Yeah. I mean,
so if you can get beat 25-0, you should get beat 25-0 because it's your fault when you're in
because you're pitching or defense or you can't hit or whatever. I get that, but aren't you trying to teach? I mean, that's really the question. Now is what are we going to teach at the high school and college level that leads them into professional baseball? So when they get there, they don't mess up and play the game quote unquote wrong.
Well, you have to remember that only like 1% of all those players make it. So,
but those are the ones we see on TV, and then we go, "What the hell is he doing?"
Winning.
Well, maybe they're winning.
Well, if they're not, they're going to be done. They're not going to be playing anymore.
Well, I just I want the game when I watch TV. I want the game played right.
Yeah, playing right is playing hard and trying to win every pitch.
Yeah. Until it gets out of hand, and then there's another way to play the game.
Nah.
Yep. That's my point. I'm going to stick to it. Yep.
If I was a business person and I made widgets, and I have the second best widgets in the world, and all of a sudden I make an adjustment and I have the number one widget in the world, and I'm making $50 million more than the person in second place, should I make my widget a little bit worse so they can catch up?
No. But I've already won. I'm already in first place.
But somebody's always trying to take it from you.
That's true, but that game's going to be over.
It's never over.
Yeah, it is. No, the game.
It's never over. It goes into the next day.
Okay. That's fine. Go ahead. Like I said, it would be different. It would be different if they just scrapped all of them.
I'm perfectly fine with them hitting me the next day because that means I get another base runner.
No, I get it.
And I want that extra base runner so I can score the extra run so my leadoff hitter can bat an extra time.
That's fine. It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt, though.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
If you hurt my player, I'm going to hurt two of yours.
That's fine. And then you get more fans because it would turn into hockey.
That's right.
There it is.
And we're sold out every game.
Which is back to old school baseball.
And then,
which is
I'm on TV more. More people are buying my team's gear. And my franchise just went up $100 million.
I want the Hobbs 22 jersey.
Exactly.
I want to be like Hobbs.
So why do you think people buy
I know.
Kevin Smith jerseys or whatever?
Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Trout.
Well,
even though he's injured, but I get it. I totally get it.
Number 55 for the Dodgers, hitting bombs.
Okay, did he call up Oral Hershiser? Hello, Oro, I want to wear your number. I can't give 5, but Seager won't give it up.
Bombs.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is they said, they went and worked on his swing. I'm like, wait, timeout.
In one day?
Albert Pujols.
In one day, though?
Yeah. This is Albert Pujols. The guy's got 600-something home runs.
Cup check.
Oh, God.
Cup check. Cup check, cup check, cup check.
Okay, go for it.
If a fan throws a beer at Joe Kelly, should he throw it back?
No, he should catch it mid-flight, hammer it, and then throw the cup back. Yes,
I hear you.
That's that would be so awesome, Or he catches it, chugs it, takes the ball, signs it, puts it in, and chucks it back, and he gives him the me. I'm a huge Joe Kelly fan. I love the guy. Now, I like the way he plays. I like his attitude, and plus it helps when you have a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and a nasty slider. So, but yeah, I say you catch it, chug it, throw it back at him.
Okay,
Definitely.
What if you can't catch it? Do you have to go into the stands and buy a beer so you can throw it back at the fan? Or do you just trade it for a signed baseball? Hey, can you go get me a beer so I can throw it at this guy?
Yeah, just you see him handing it down into the bullpen. Joe Kelly getting loose. Wouldn't be the first time.
You go, hey, concession guy.
Yeah. Hey, you with the Dodger jersey, come here.
I'll give you a $10 tip.
Love it.
That and one more cup check. Cup check.
Man, a lot of cup checks today. I was hurting.
Can you tell me when the Padres are playing some random team, not the Dodgers, why people wear Dodgers jerseys to Petco Park? Mookie Betts jersey in the stands last night.
Oh, now I have some friends that are Dodger fans. That to me it's a slap in the face. I would not go to a Dodger game wearing a Padre jersey. I would not go to a Yankees game playing the Orioles wearing a Red Sox jersey.
Well, I wouldn't. If you're not wearing one of those teams, no. So here's one thing. Okay, I can understand a casual fan that likes baseball throwing on their team's hat to go watch a game. It's like, I just want to be part of baseball,
right?
And I can get that, right? I guess. So, I'm a casual Cardinal fan. I happen to be in Florida for business. I'm going to a Rays game. I throw on my Cardinal hat because I love baseball. Guess I could get that, right? When you're throwing on a Dodger jersey to go to Petco Park, that's a sign of war.
Yes, it is. That is saying, let's fight. I mean, the Rockies fan who just got crushed by the Padre fan, maybe he was...
No, there was a lot of other stuff going on.
I know there's a bunch of stuff. But first of all, that was...
Fighting is wrong.
Yeah, don't
in
fight.
In the stands. There's kids there. Come on.
Yep.
You're adults. Be adults.
Attempting. I don't know. Yeah, there's a huge backstory on that. But if you're a Dodger fan going to Petco when they're playing another not Dodger team, you're asking everyone to say, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a Dodger fan in your house. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't even wear a Padre jersey to Dodger Stadium when the Padres were playing the Dodgers.
Right. Because, well, I mean, I would, but there's a good chance, especially if the Padres win, there's going to be a fight somewhere.
Well, the problem is...
whatever, Padre fan.
People don't get it. You're going to have fun and watch a sporting event. It's like watching a soap opera or... the Kardashians. You're just going to watch.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. It's the same thing. It's a guy's soap opera. That's what sports are.
Yeah. That's our I just couldn't imagine wearing another jersey. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with like somebody, maybe having a jacket because it's cold. And that's
it's the only one you got.
Yeah. Or like you throwing on your hat because you're going to a game and you're excited about baseball. I get that kind of thing, but a jersey, if you have a jersey, that means you spent $150.
Yeah, you're invested.
You know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm wearing my bets.
You can get a hat for $5 at the swap meet, and that's your hat.
Got a hat.
But a jersey...
Yeah,
even if you get the swap meet jersey, it's still $40.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I guess you're saying, hey, I'm willing to voice my opinion if you want to talk about the Dodgers right now.
But why are you there?
Yeah.
Why are you there? Oh my gosh!
What?
Starbucks cup. I just noticed. 54 minutes in, I just noticed Starbucks cup. Mm-hmm. Wow. Hey, Starbucks cup.
Just hanging out. Dang. You gonna hit me with any more cup checks? Because that's like 3. It's starting to get sore. Cup check. No, don't do it, dude.
It's a real one.
No, it only looks like.
It's a real cup check.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Do some abs.
Woo. What time is it, man?
I don't know. It's like 8.
Yeah, it's an early podcast.
Yeah, it's all right. Got a busy day. Busy day today. So I guess it's time to sign off. With that one there, folks, we're out of here.